అక్షయ పాత్ర ప్రారంభించడానికి గల కారణాలేమిటి?
Akshaya Patra was started in the year 2000. At that time we just started feeding 1,500 children in the schools which are around Bangalore temple, ISKCON temple. And we did not know that it is going to grow so big. As soon as these few schools who received the food, the word spread around to so many schools nearby that just within 6 months I had a request for 1 lakh children. So many return requests on the table. I did not know what to do because I started with 1,500 children in our temple kitchen. Where is a facility to cook 1 lakh children? Where is the money to cook for 1 lakh children? So almost 1 year I was wondering whether to accept this or not. So slowly we increased by 5,000, 10,000. The recurring cost is very high. In those days, the government program was not there. There was no subsidy. Everything we had to collect donation. But one day, one of my brothers, God brothers, the ashram, he brought up one Leela of Prabhupada, one anecdote of Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. Srila Prabhupada, in the year 1976, he started a temple in Mayapur, birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, and he had invited all the donors from Calcutta to come to Mayapur and he offered them after blessing, then they all had a very big feast. So many items of feast they had, Krishna Prasadam. Then after that, many of the donors were in Prabhupada's room and Prabhupada was talking to them. All of a sudden, Prabhupada heard some children crying, screaming, and dogs barking. So Prabhupada got up from his seat, went over the window, and he saw those children. They are all village children fighting with the dogs to pick up the waste food that was left after the feast. All the banana leaves were piled up there, and the dogs and the children were fighting. And Prabhupada had tears in his eyes. Immediately, Prabhupada that evening, he called all his leaders and he told them that this distribution of nobody within 10-mile radius of Krishna temple should go hungry. This is how the food distribution, prasad distribution began in ISKCON. So I had a file which was, full of applications for feeding 1 lakh children, and I was fearing where the money will come from. But then when I heard Prabhupada had given this command to his leaders, go ahead and feed, I thought somehow Krishna and Radharani will arrange funds, and I accepted those applications, and that is history. Never we have ever starved for funds. We started from 1,500. Today we are doing 17.6 lakh children feeding every day in 12 states all over the India, and more than 15,000 schools all over the country. So this is something which is a miracle. No doubt, especially Annadhana is Shrestha Dhana. In this country, people know that. And individuals are willing to come forward and support. And of course, after 2 years after we started, the government program began, and that was a big boost. So government funding, and government gave grains, conversion cost, and then today the government gives around 6 rupees, 7 rupees per meal, and for us it costs about 11, 12 rupees. So almost about 40% of the cost of the meal we have to raise donation. And just imagine today, every day our food distribution cost is about 48 lakhs per day. And the government funds 26 lakhs we get. That means we have to raise every day 23 to 24 lakhs per day. And see the miracle of this. By Krishna's arrangement, By Lord's arrangement, for a selfless cause like this, we are putting our efforts and funds are coming. We feel that Akshaya Patras, apart from cooking, distributing, taking it to the schools, apart from meeting those challenges, the only other challenge for us is how to communicate the cause of this classroom hunger to the people who do not know. As soon as they know this, immediately everybody wants to support. So if it is our duty to communicate, we have a marketing team, we'll call up people and tell about the need for supporting education. It is not only about feeding, and we tell people that supporting a child's education by feeding is not a charity, it is your obligation. It is a social obligation. Taxpayers' money you have all enjoyed. When you go to a school, you enjoy tax-paid money. And now today, you have to give back to the society. And people are coming forward. And after some time, after 4 or 5 years, corporates started coming. Corporate social responsibility was a program introduced by the government. And the corporates started donating for these funds. Because we don't get any funds from the government for building kitchens. To build a kitchen of this size for, let's say, 50,000 feeding, we need a minimum of 16 to 17 crores, including vehicles. So today we have 42 kitchens all over the country. And all this has come with nothing but starting with 1,500 children feeding from the temple kitchen.